everyone. I just got back down from the mountain house and I'm coming on Make It Free to talk to you guys about the difference between a conscious intention and an energetic intention. I'd love to hear if any of you have heard of maybe just intentions, but then the difference between a conscious intention, meaning this is what I'm thinking in my mind consciously, thinking in a notebook, thinking out loud, whatever it is, versus the energetic intention, which I'll talk about more in a second here. It's more of the underlying intention that also trumps the conscious intention, depending on what your beliefs and thought patterns are in your life. Cool? You guys curious? Hope so. So let's take a couple examples. The conscious intention might be that I want to be successful. Wondering if any of you resonate with that. Maybe that's something you want in your life, maybe not. Either way, that's an example of a conscious intention. I could wake up in the morning, sit down for my work today, and think, I want to be successful. Now, I might have a limiting belief that says it's not possible for me to be successful. Consciously, I want to be successful. Limiting belief, it's not possible for me to be successful. And I might see other people who have success, yet I think for whatever reason, this can go back to childhood, this can go back to examples you've seen in your life or beliefs about yourself and your worth and your ability and your skills and your intelligence. It can go back to so many different things. But for whatever reason, you might have this belief that that's just not possible for me. Only other people get to have that, not me. So then what happens is the energetic intention becomes, I won't be successful. Okay? 3 different intentions here or steps. Conscious intention, I want to be successful. Limiting belief, it's not possible for me to be successful. Energetic intention becomes, I won't be successful. So what happens is the negative emotions that are coded within the limiting belief of it's not possible for me to be successful are more highly charged than what the conscious mind is saying, which is I want to be successful. So because these are more highly charged, the energetic intention is ultimately what the result that will be the result that manifests. So we can look at another example of this as well. Say your conscious intention is that I want to have an amazing relationship with my soulmate, twin flame partner. But you have a limiting belief or story that says, I can't have, or no one can have, a healthy relationship if you didn't grow up or I didn't grow up in a household with parents who were role models for that healthy relationship. Okay? So conscious intention is I want to have an amazing fucking relationship with my soulmate. Limiting belief is, well, you can't have healthy relationships unless you grew up in a home that was also modeled that for you. Is that true? No. But is it the belief that some people have created in their mind? Absolutely. So then what happens is energetic intention becomes, it is not possible for me to have an amazing and healthy relationship with my soulmate. Because the negative emotions that are coded within the limiting beliefs, again, outweigh, trump, are more highly charged than the conscious mind and what the conscious mind desires. And if you look at some of the research and publications, especially with like Dr. Bruce Lipton, you'll see that it's guessed, hypothesized that somewhere between 90 and 95% of our mind, of our programming, is in the subconscious. Now that sometimes called the unconscious, but it's not a lack of information or a lack of thought or like lack of control. It's the programs that are within you. So if the 5 to 10% of us is the conscious mind, what do you think wins? The energetic intention that is in alignment with your limiting belief, that is 90 to 95% of your programming, or the 5 to 10% that is the conscious mind that says, I want this now. It's going to go always back to the old stories, to your belief systems, to your most common thoughts, to the patterns and behaviors that you've created in your life. So let's take a third example. Your conscious intention might be that I desire vibrant health and more than enough energy in my life. But your limiting belief might be that I've been sick for over 10 years, which was also my case, my situation at one time. So the limiting belief is I've been sick for 10 plus years, I'm not ever going to get better. So conscious intention, I desire vibrant health, more than enough energy, limiting belief, but I've been sick for 10 plus years and I'm never going to get better, even though I want it. So what your energetic intention would become might be, I am committed to actually staying sick because I don't think that healing or more than enough energy or vibrant health is available to me. That intention ends up being what you manifest and what your reality becomes in your life, because this limiting belief is more highly charged than the conscious mind and the conscious intention, which again is 5 to 10% of our programming, of our thoughts. And here's a big fact for you guys. It is 70 to 80%, some people even say 80 to 90% of our thoughts that we're having today in this 24-hour span of our life are the exact same that we had yesterday. So if you want to change your thoughts, we have to first realize what we were thinking yesterday, right? So we can become aware of it and we can change it. And again, that's because 90 to 95% of our programming and our thoughts and our behaviors are in the subconscious mind and also in the autonomic nervous system. That's the part of you that's driving home and you're not thinking about how to turn the steering wheel and which way to go because you've done it 1,000 times before and your body just does it. Autonomic process in your body is breathing. You can consciously think of your breathing, but most of the time it's just in our autonomic process of I'm breathing right now, but I'm not consciously thinking about the length of my inhale and the length of my exhale. So we have conscious intentions. I say I want this. Limiting beliefs that are dependent and determined by so many other things and factors in our life, maybe even past lives. And an energetic intention, which becomes ultimately what you manifest as your reality, that is more dependent on this limiting belief than this conscious intention. So what if you don't want to manifest your limiting beliefs and instead you want to change and you don't want to have 80 to 90% of the same thoughts that you had yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and the next day, and next year, and then 5 years down the road? And you want to change your energetic intention to what you really, really desire. What do? How do you change this? Well, one easy way to start is by becoming aware of your limiting beliefs. So we all have them. We all have stories. We all have environments that we've grown up in and been raised in and things that have happened to us and for us in our life and our body and our health and our relationships and past relationships. And we have all these stories that have been compiled that now are part of our reality and are very much part of the lens that we see the world through. Now, these are all they're not all supportive beliefs. So when we, first step, want to change our energetic intention, what we actually manifest into our lives, we want to become aware of the limiting beliefs, whereas most of the world, I would argue, is just totally comfortably unaware, unconscious of what their limitations actually are within their thoughts and beliefs. So I like to start by asking myself, what stories, like as a whole, am I telling about my life? Are there any common themes that are popping up? So let's just play with some examples here. What is a story I tell about my life? I might tell the story that all men are bad. I don't actually tell that story, but there's certainly people who might tell that story. So I might have the story that people who don't work hard are not important or will never be successful. And that's something that I just am like seeing, maybe not even in myself, but in other people. But the things that you see in other people are a great way to also discover your own limiting beliefs, because we project onto other people our own belief systems. So that's another way to start to become aware of them. What stories are you telling? But also, what judgments do you have on people in your life? Because let's be fucking honest, we all judge people. We all have judged people in our life, and we probably will continue to in some way, consciously or unconsciously. So what if you started to notice the judgments that you had on other people and started to realize that those judgments that you had on other people are probably just judgments that you have on yourself that are related to a limiting belief you have about the world and your reality that you've created. Another way that you can start becoming aware of these stories is, again, what common themes are popping up in my life? Am I seeing this theme of disappointment? Am I seeing a theme of trauma? Am I seeing a theme of pain? Is there a theme of feeling not enough, or like literally being told I'm not enough? That doesn't mean it's true, but it may be what you actually believe about yourself. Therefore, you're manifesting that environment in which you're told you are not enough. Another way you can start becoming more aware of your limiting beliefs is to ask questions like, or notice if you are manifesting the same relationships over and over again in your life. So this could be situations or environments or jobs as well. But I often see my clients come to me and say, oh my God, I've dated the same guy basically 5 times in a row. They all end up the same. Well, likely there's some sort of limiting belief around what you are allowed to have and experience in the partner that you are meant to be with or have a relationship with in your life. So notice if there's recurring patterns in jobs, in relationships, in living in situations, or even just like one-off conversations that you're having in your life. And ultimately, my major piece of guidance to become more aware of these limiting beliefs that then manifest into your energetic intentions is to become an observer of your life. Become an effing observer. We are so quick to jump in and add our input and talk and speak or speak over people, and we've forgotten how to listen. So we have to become better listeners. And it's not just when you're sitting across the dinner table with your spouse or your child or a friend or at work at a meeting with a coworker. It's with yourself. So we have to become better listeners of ourselves, of our body, of the messages that our body is sending to us, that is giving us in every second, every minute of every single day. It's always communicating with us. So if we become better observers and listeners of ourselves and our environments, all of a sudden you're going to start to notice these patterns, these themes, the relationships in your life, and the stories that you're telling. And you'll start to notice where you might be self-sabotaging in your life. You'll start to notice where you hit your edges, what makes you uncomfortable, and those recurring themes that are there that, again, you might not just be aware of or conscious of yet in your life. And then, once you are aware of the limiting belief, sometimes, and I've seen this happen in plenty of my clients before, sometimes literally just realizing that they have a limiting belief and what the limiting belief is and how it's negatively affecting them in their lives, it's just like a snap of your fingers. And I'm a horrible snapper, but it is. It's just like a snap of your fingers, and the belief, the awareness of it, you seeing how it's negatively impacting your life makes it just disappear. And you decide, I'm going to live my life a different way. I choose to not believe this anymore. I'm going on to bigger, better things. I want to manifest something different in my life. And it's just gone. There are other limiting beliefs that are much, much, much stickier. So when that happens and they're just like, bam, bye, see ya, that's the best. That is the best, but that does not always happen. Other times they're sticky. they feel hard to get rid of. And usually it's because there's some sort of benefit to the belief, some sort of secondary gain to having it. And I've talked about this in podcast episodes and in courses and with clients. I'm not going to dive into that today. But sometimes there's literally a gain that, again, we might not be conscious of, but there's a reason that especially our ego, that part of us that is in survival and that wants to keep us safe, wants to maintain the belief. Those are the sticky ones. And I have a process that I take my clients through to release the sticky ones. Well, really all of them, but again, sometimes you get that like little surprise of snap, it's just gone, and you should definitely celebrate that. So episode 51 of my podcast, Healing Uncensored, goes through an entire process that you can take yourself through on how to release limiting beliefs. It's one way, it's not the only way to release them, but if you're listening today and this is you're having all these aha moments and you're going, oh my God, I've been saying I want this, but I have a limiting belief that this, so the end result is not what I said I wanted, and instead it's something that is maybe even an opposition of what you wanted. If that's you, if you're relating, go listen to that episode. But also, if you want to release even the toughest, stickiest of limiting beliefs so that you can grow an abundant business, be of service to the world, start sharing your voice, your truth, your authenticity, speaking up for yourself, creating boundaries in your life, then I invite you to join the Empath Entrepreneur Mastermind, and that is part of what makes this container different. It is not just strategy, it is not just lecture, it is not a 1, 2, 3 ABC follow my step process and then you will end up some way. It is authentic, it is connection, it is going way beyond the strategy and how to post on social media and how to get clients and how to launch programs and the tech behind it, because I can help you with all that. I can help you with all of those things, but people come to the Empath Entrepreneur Mastermind because they want to go deeper. And they might not even realize what that is or how that feels or what it looks like yet, but they know that they need something more than what they've been doing or different than what they've been doing. Because it's not a lack of trying, and it's not a lack of ability or capability of creating abundant business, and it's not even just about $10,000 months and beyond. It is about being, for most empaths, of service to the world, of feeling in alignment with your soul's purpose, of feeling joy showing up to work every day. And I want that for all of you. I show up to work every single day, well, several days out of the week. I don't work every day of the week, but when I show up, it's in a joyful state, it's in a high vibrational state, and I fucking love my work. And I want that for all the women who join this mastermind and who decide to jump into this container. It is supportive. I've posted lots of testimonials. I've interviewed past participants. I'm posting about it for like 3 weeks now. So if you're just hearing about it, go scroll back. The cart closes tomorrow night and we start next week. This container is, again, very different than what you might think of as a mastermind. We have 1 call per week with all the ladies. Everyone gets a hot seat, meaning you get one-on-one attention and you get to ask your questions. There's a Facebook group for support. And what's different this round, this is the 4th round of the mastermind, and they're always amazing, but this round is extra special because I'm bringing in specific trainings on human design in business. So if you aren't familiar with human design, that's totally fine, but you're going to learn about it. You're going to go online and you're going to find out what type you are. So there are 5 different types. You could be a projector, a manifesting generator, a reflector. Those are rare. It's only 1% of the population. But regardless, you're going to figure out what does that mean about how I can most effectively and efficiently show up in this world, be of service, share my message, step into my soul's purpose, let things be fucking easy, and make a shit ton of money doing it. So I'd love to mentor you. I'd love to hold the space for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you enjoyed our little chat today.